Many thanks for making a date with me on Business Live. Welcome back. Now, the Energy Ministry is expected to submit a review of aspects of the country's local content regulations to Parliament next year. This will happen after extensive stakeholder consultation. Darryl Kwao has more.
The amendment to the country's local content regulations is to make the Petroleum Commission more responsive to current industry trends and demands 6 years after the implementation of the local content policy. Acting CEO of the Petroleum Commission, Egbert Febo Jr., also announced new guidelines to be implemented next year at a local content conference underway in Takoradi.
Having implemented the local content regulations over the last 6 years, it is time to look back at our achievements and challenges. The Commission has embarked on an exercise to review relevant provisions of LI 2204 to make it more responsive to current industry trends and demands. We expect to submit the proposed review to Parliament through our sector minister in the course of the next year. This will happen after extensive stakeholder consultations. We met with the Ghana Oil and Gas Service Providers Association, GOSPA, just last week to discuss its proposed amendments. We shall also do so with other identifiable stakeholders and indeed all who matter in these matters in due course. The following policies, Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, and guidelines have also been developed and will be rolled out in 2020 as part of efforts towards deepening local content and local participation. These are technology transfer policy and guidelines, research and development guidelines, bid evaluation guidelines, and guidelines for the submission of local content plans and reports. These guidelines, we hope, will ensure a smooth implementation and enforcement of the various requirements of LI 2204. The Commission, Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, is also taking steps to ensure that in-country spend is maximized as we support our local companies to build their capacities and be able to independently execute some of the scopes currently being performed by joint venture companies.
Key among discussions on day 2 is how banks can promote the local content agenda and strategies for financing SMEs and local enterprises in the oil and gas industry.
Meanwhile, Director of Local Content at the Petroleum Commission, Kweku Boateng, has called for a national strategic industrial trade policy to support local content. He says the country's weak industrial base is making it difficult for it to meet its local content targets in the upstream petroleum sector. Mr. Boateng has been addressing stakeholders at the 6th Local Content Conference and Exhibition in Takoradi.
In terms of achievement of the contract, achievement of the targets, we have a challenge as a developing country. The industrial base is weak. The financial base of the most local companies are quite limited. And I think as a country, we need national strategic trade industrial policy to support local content. The local content in oil and gas industry cannot exist in isolation. It has to be developed within the framework of trade and industry policy, which I have to admit that is lacking. So in view of some of these challenges, some of the targets that we have over there are not being achieved. And we as a commission is doing its best. We work with our stakeholders to make sure that those targets are achieved. And part of this dialogue is also come up with new ideas to ensure that we meet those targets set up in the LI.
Away from petroleum, the Ghana Revenue Authority GRA in Cape Coast has embarked on another distress action, this time closing down the Manor Heights Hotel at Mankesim. The Manor Heights Hotel, according to the GRA, owes the state over 300,000 Ghana cedis and has failed to settle their indebtedness despite persistent reminders by the GRA. Richard Kwejonyako joined them and has filed this report.
Section 52 and 53 of the Revenue Administration Act 2016 do hereby authorize you, that's us, to collect and recover the sum of 302,504 Ghana cedis, 40 pesos due and owing for taxes, penalties, and interest from you, Manor Heights.
So the Ghana Revenue Authority has been very busy today. Today they are in Mankesim, the Manor Heights Hotel Limited. And this company, I'm told, by the GRA, owes them a lot, and they've been trying to engage them since 2016 to settle their indebtedness to the company. But try as they did, the company did not oblige. So today, they are here to embark on this distress action. They came with a letter from the Commissioner General to shut this place down until they redeem themselves or they settle their indebtedness. I have with me the leader of this operation.
Manor Heights is indebted to the Ghana Revenue Authority since 2016. Demand notice letters went, no effort. They did payments on their own terms. We came, when I even came here, I came to them several times to come and make satisfactory arrangement to pay. It was not yielding any result. So it was escalated to head office. And head office mandates that we should take this distress action.
What should they do to get this?
Ourselves, we are concerned. However, it is coming from head office. The letter we are giving, they were failing to take. Fortunately, the receptionist took, and I must commend the receptionist for that.
Some of the guests that were sleeping in this hotel are leaving because the place is going to be shut down. The management of this facility are fighting off claims by the GRA that they have not availed themselves to some settlement.
I have received from GRA that we've paid 150. So you didn't receive it.
Now, what we're saying is that take this letter to head office. Are you getting it?
No,
and see
wrong. It is wrong. Yeah, but it's wrong. See, your own outfit. Give us.
So there's been some drama here. The letter that was received by the receptionist has now been thrown at the GRA. So you can see the letter here. It's been put on the vehicle of the GRA. They say that they do not want to acknowledge receipt of the letter they initially received.
Quite some interesting developments at Monkey Sim in the central region. Coming down to Accra, Chairman of the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies, Kweku Duabechi, has advised customers of some defunct savings and loans companies whose owners are currently challenging their license revocation in court to validate their claims. He was reacting to the refusal by some of the customers to take part in the validation exercise in an interview with Joy Business. This was at the relaunch of mobile banking services by Pan-African Savings and Loans Limited. Ebenezer Sabuti has more in this report.
More than 1,000 customers were affected after the Bank of Ghana revoked the licenses of some savings and loans companies in the country for several breaches of the specialized deposit-taking regulations. This has resulted in some aggrieved managers referring to the courts for redress. According to the chairman of the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies, Kukudua, the receiver of the savings and loans companies has assured that though the grace period for the validation has elapsed, it is ready to validate other customers who are affected by court cases as a result of the revocation.
Get updates. So far, there are very few savings and loans companies whose customers are not able to validate because the institutions in question have cases in the law courts. And there are injunctions on them, and there is one, for instance, whose head office has been locked up. So what we do is we are advising all the customers who are affected by these savings and loans companies to just go to the nearest collapsed savings and loans company and fill out their claim. As and when the court case subsides, then the validation will come. Even though I know that the time has elapsed for people to go in and fight for their claims, the receiver is willing to give out enough time for these people, for the customers of these savings and loans companies, so that they can also get their money back.
He spoke with Joy Business at the sidelines of a short ceremony by Pan-African Savings and Loans to relaunch its mobile services. Managing Director of Pan-African Savings and Loans, Amelia Desiree Atafin, has been speaking about the importance of the service.
This was launched in 2016, and when we launched it, we had this platform. Customers are able to make payments, customers are able to save, customers are able to take short-term loans. It was like a month, 1 month loans. But then we realized that when the customer actually wants to take out the cash, they will have to now push the money onto their mobile money wallets before they take out the cash. So the introduction of the quick agents, and that's a new thing that we've added to it now, the introduction of the quick agents enables the customer to go directly to our agents to go and take out cash or to go and pay in money, so they don't have to go through a third party to be able to do that. So this is the innovation that we are bringing. This is the addition that we are bringing to our quick platform to help our customers to have easy access to their accounts.
The Association of Savings and Loans is encouraging depositors to have confidence in their services as the cleanup is over.
Now, an Accra High Court, an Accra Human Rights Court has set December 18 to determine whether it has jurisdiction over the case brought before it by businessman Dr. Papakwesi Indum against the Bank of Ghana. Dr. Indum is asking the court to declare the action by the Bank of Ghana to revoke the license of GN Savings and Loans as unlawful and a violation of his human rights. Ebinder Sabuti.
According to lawyers of Dr. Indum, the action taken by the Bank of Ghana and its agent, which includes the receiver of the savings and loans companies, is a clear violation of his human rights. Lawyers for the Bank of Ghana and the Attorney General are of the view that the jurisdiction of the court has been wrongly invoked because matters of banking revocation are expected to go for arbitration at the Arbitration Center, which has been established under the Ghana Arbitration Act, a position which has been vehemently opposed by the lawyer for Dr. Indum, Justice Ramsai. According to Justice Ramsai, the law given the opportunity for the arbitration also made a provision for aggrieved persons to resort to the court if their human rights have been violated. Lawyer for the first respondent, Frank Davis, argues that Justice Ramsai and his clients have failed to demonstrate to the court claims that their human rights have been violated. He further praised the court to strike out the case and directs the applicant and Group Indum to resort to arbitration. Justice Ramsai further indicated to the court that similar cases were heard in the High Court without going through arbitration. The court presided over by Justice Gifty Edu Ajay upon hearing adjourned to the 18th of December to rule on the matter.
You're live on Business Live, and we're moving on to yet another interesting story. The Volta Regional Coordinating Council is organizing the 4th Trade and Investment Fair to pitch its untapped business potential to investors. The fair, which is billed to start on Friday, that's tomorrow, is expected to target revamping the tourism and agricultural potential of the local economy. I've been joined in the studio by coordinator of the fair, Francis Haja, to throw more light on what investors should expect. You're welcome to Business Live.
Thank you very much.
So how is this fair going to be different from the previous fairs, because this is the 4th edition?
Yes, thank you very much. This is the 4th edition, and it is expanded to include a lot more stakeholders. We are involving all the districts to
within
come,
the Volta region.
Yes, to come and showcase the potential within those districts, and then how they are packaged their districts for investment opportunities. We want to attract investors into the region through this fair so they can identify the opportunities and begin some partnerships.
Now, talking about attracting investors, what kind of investors are you talking about? Local investors, foreign investors?
Yes, the theme for our fair this year is sustainable investment and industrial growth through trade promotion.
Okay.
So it's a loaded one. And therefore, we are looking at the investment that can help us industrialize the region.
Okay.
And also let the region contribute more to the national effort.
Okay.
And so we are looking at agriculture, which is a major, investment opportunity in the region. We're looking at tourism, which we have in excess, but not fully developed. So we are looking to adding value to the tourism attractions. We are also looking at the manufacturing and the construction industry. So we can build capacity to stimulate the economy.
So beyond this fair, how would you get the investors who express, interest in some of these areas or opportunities? How do you get them to start actually, tapping into these opportunities?
Okay, we are creating a desk, and that desk is supposed to be liaising between the private sector and the various districts and the coordinating council, so we can do some strategy building going forward. We are also happy to announce that AGI, Association of Ghana Industries, has been a major partner to this particular year's fair. And therefore, they are also bringing some leverage onto and looking at how to expand the industrial base of the region to contribute more to the national effort.
And when again is this fair starting?
We're starting the fair tomorrow, Friday, 22nd of November to the 1st of December, a period of 10 days of stimulating and exciting business activity. Yes.
What will be your key indicators beyond the fair? I mean, afterwards, how do you get?
We want to see growth in every sector of the economy of the region. We want to see agriculture taken to the next level, agro-processing, and a value addition to some of this agricultural chain, production efforts. And we want to see investment in other areas. We have salt, we have minerals, we have cocoa is in the Volta region, but many people don't know. We are engaging so that we can expand these opportunities. So our contribution to the national effort can be maximized.
Thank you very much for this insightful discussion. And Francis Haja is the coordinator of the upcoming Volta Trade Investment and Cultural Fair, which actually takes off tomorrow. We're still live on Business Live. We're taking a short break here. We'll be right after this. Welcome back to Business Live after that break. Now, the National Food and Buffer Stock Company is looking to mop up rice produced by rice farmers in the Upper East region. This comes as farmers in the region lament a lack of market after having experienced a bumper harvest this year. Sheila Tamaklo visited some rice fields and has come through with this report.
After months of hard labor and investing over 1 million cedis into his rice farm, Abdul Kadir Mohammed is yet to make any gains from his toil. The reason? A lack of market.
I have cultivated about 875 acres as a farmer. In all, about 1 million plus that I've invested into the farming. I bought 4 new tractors. I bought 2 home use combines. I bought 2 new crawler combines from China. And I've bought fertilizer from the outside market. As I'm talking to you, I've not yet sold 1 single bag of my rice because I don't agree to sell my rice 3 bags for 2. I will never do it. I said to myself that if I produce and go and share it to the needy, it will be better than giving it away.
Another farmer, Richard Akuga, shares the same plight. He has experienced high yields this year and assumed he would make huge profits, but that was not to be.
Last year, Avnas will take your rice. 1 week's time or 5 days' time, you get your money back. These people, they will take your rice. Even last year, some women took my rice. As I'm talking now, you have not paid the rice. So these women are all taking the rice on credit basis. Now I'm even looking for money to go and buy fuel to put in my combine harvester. You don't have money. You have to still go and borrow. You have started from the beginning of the plowing, processing, all the destiny, coming to the harvest. Now you have got the produce and still you are still borrowing. Because the woman will take the rice, they won't pay. The woman will take the rice, all the rice have been, as of now, I've sold more than about 1,000 bags. The 1,000 bags have gone. I've got only about 100 bags money, which I've used all to buy fuel to harvest the rest.
Today, the Belembisi rice field is saturated with rice. A favorable weather and government support from the Planting for Food and Jobs contributed to the bumper harvest. But the challenge farmers face now is marketing. All along the road, bags of rice are lined up waiting for buyers. Few buyers, however, who are making the efforts to collect the rice also lament the poor nature of the roads is making the task more difficult and unattractive.
When you call the drivers to come, they don't come because the roads are bad. The roads are bad. The goods we just loaded even got overturned. The roads are too bad.
Today, we're lucky we got a car. The roads are bad, so nobody wants to bring their car here.
Having to watch their hard labor go waste has made the farmers desperate, and they want immediate solutions.
We are pleading with you that you should try your best to get a market for us. We know school feeding alone can absorb everything. And we are pleading with the government to see the best it can do immediately. If not, that some of the rice is getting rotten. So, and most of us who have taken bank loans to assist in producing the rice. Now, some people have even threatened to kill themselves. There's a lady whose farm got even burnt, and she has not even picked one sack from it.
We are still harvesting and we are still poor. So the government have more power to help. If they say they want to, they can mop all this rice and then sell it at the right time. You know, this is the peak.
To ascertain the situation further, the National Food and Buffer Stock Company paid a visit to the field. CEO of the company, Abdul Hanan Wahab, assured that immediate steps will be taken to buy all the rice harvested.
For the short term, immediately we are going to unleash some registered license buying companies to aggregate it. It is our responsibility to do that, so that our dear farmers in the valley would not be discouraged from farming in subsequent farming years. I'm very happy you've spoken about the warehouses. Yes, some of them are near completion.
Yeah, that's true.
That are near completion, that they will be commissioned before the end of the year. Yeah. So apart from that, we are looking at what we can do to move the stock of paddy rice that we have seen from the beginning of the valley and get you ready cash in your hands.
The roads, according to the district chief executive for Bulsa South, is also being worked on and expected to be completed next year.
From Chuchuluga, from Navrongo to Chuchuluga coming, you will notice that the contractor is on site working. These are all measures government is putting in place to make sure that the food we get from this part of the country gets a smoother exit out of the district. And so all of it is all inclusive. Government is having an all inclusive approach to solving the farmer situation in this district. So the road definitely will be worked on. I know that by middle of next year, the contractor, as I spoke with him, he should be done with the main Navrongo to VAC part of the road.
Even as the farmers wait for a lifeline, there's a call for more efforts by citizens to consume local rice. There's also a call on local mills to take advantage of the bumper harvest, even as government looks to ban the importation of rice to encourage local production and create wealth for farmers.
And that's our show tonight. Many thanks for watching. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We have a good evening.